Very hearty welcome to IIT Madras campus. This hall has witnessed right from my student days, 1989, and Kanik's days, little before that, 84. At least several thousands of concerts here. And we have listened also to GJR with his father, and his father with the Sarod, I think with Sarod. I think the South meets North, and several of concerts. So thank you very much for readily agreeing to be the chief guest. It actually took only 2 minutes for you to respond that day, Vijay and GJR. And he said that he will come and play. I said, in this Lalgudi Bani, always the violin speaks. So I said, yes, it's very, very great. Gurumurthy sir, thank you very, very much for coming today and enlightening us on what we call as the decolonizing of the human mind, Indian mind, to be very precise. So I'd like to touch upon certain points which actually SG sir has actually mentioned here. Friends, my basic introduction to music, that I need to study music, came from two incidents that happened very early in my life in the presence of the Kanchi Paramacharya. One day there was Shivratri day, Pradosham day. At that time, Periva actually told my father, give me two instances, give me any other instance where you see a work like how Mukha Kavi has done for the Arya Shadagam and how Muttusvāmi Diksita has done for the Navavarnam. Can you point me any other text in this direction? So that was a big eye-opener for me. The second instance was when Princess Irene, she relinquished all her royal facilities and she wanted to become a philosopher. And she went and asked Periva, can you please tell me how can I attain liberation? Very profound question. Periva told, you are learning piano. You just continue to practice piano. And one day you will realize moksha, liberation. So these two were very deep insights where I started believing very early in my life, around 5-6 years. I started realizing that, surely some aspect of music should be with every human being. Then I'm very nostalgic, like Padmaja and Sumitra here. Sumitra's grandmother was my first violin teacher. So I'm very happy Sumitra is here. Sumitra also has performed here. So thank you, Sumitra, for coming. When we started looking at a holistic development, as SG sir clearly put it, the silos of teaching science alone, just learning engineering, science, even within engineering we have computer science, we have electrical, so many silos here and there. I think it's not going to take us anywhere. The type of creativity that is there, right? So it is very, very important. And that is basically kindled by several other art forms, and music is not an exception there. And so that's precisely why I put all my effort, and this one motivating statement that I believe, if there are people who are reasonable, then they live along with the world. Only an unreasonable person will want the world to live according to them. So if you want any change in life, you need unreasonable people, right? And so we started having certain unreasonable demands on our BTech admission. And we said, let us have a fine arts and cultural excellence admission. So now people who actually have a CCRT fellowship or All India Radio Gradation, they win the competition. Several young children are winning today. They get a preference in our admission. So this is something we brought in. And that has changed. Today last year was the first we introduced. We have 6 very good artists. And down the line, I believe that we will bring the music culture into the science and technology field. What is amazing today, just looking at, today we have one repository, I just kept it for a awe moment, one repository of more than several thousands of kirtanas in one brain, and that is there. Sangeeta Kalacharya, Suguna Mami here. Mommy, it's just amazing. Like, my daughter goes for class with mommy and just asks, I want Pariyachakama. She said, take the 6th book there and take the 72nd page there. And when they opened, there was Pariyachakama. So there's an amount of, repository she has. And what actually makes us, stunning, specifically why I'm mentioning this here, is if you just look at the collection in her room, the amount of notations she have written, it will be at least, millions of swaras or millions of, notation. And each swara has its own way of rendering. The same Gandharam, you sing like this, it's different. If you sing somewhere, it becomes Arabi, somewhere it becomes Kedaragola. So it's whatever. So Devagandhari or Arabi, the small change can change the entire, reflection of that raga. So it's not just having those millions of swaras in the mind, the notations, but also remembering how to render it. It's an amazing part of human brain. And I think that is something which is really, really pushing us to look at music as one aspect that will bring in a lot more creativity. Friends, when the Blue Gene IBM computer bet Kasparov in the chess, Kasparov was very absolutely, he was very sad. And then finally he wrote a book called Deep Thinking. I think everybody should learn that Deep Thinking or read that book, Deep Thinking. It actually talks about the boundary where the artificial intelligence ends and the natural intelligence take over. At this point, when we just look at it, Kasparov's brain was just size of this palm. At maximum could have consumed 20 watts of power. But if you look at the IBM system, just for playing chess, Kasparov does a lot more other things. Just for playing chess, it was more than this hall size, consuming megawatts of power. So the brain is completely, it's not a computational paradigm. It's not at least a classical computing paradigm. So that's what S.G. sir also maintained. Many times he mentioned that we are slowly moving away from the classical computing to a quantum physics interpretation of what is brain to start with. So that is also something, today some of the better music, so there are a lot of artificial intelligence that are put to create music. I don't know whether it can create something like, for example, they talk about Harikeshan Muttiya Bhagavatar. It seems the king has some problem with the lips. When both the lips touch each other, then they could not basically sing. There was a lot of disturbance. So the king asked Harikeshan Muttiya Bhagavatar, what is it that if some artist, when they just start entering the stage, a bee stings the lip, what will he sing? He came out, Sari Gama Padanisa, Ma and Pa, basically the lips touch. Sari Ga, Danisa, the lips don't touch. So he came out with this Niroshta Raga. So just to name it as Niroshta itself is so amazing, right? Sariga, Danisa, Sanida, Garisa. Not only that, he made a Kriti. In that Kriti also, Radha, Raja, Radite, no, the lips doesn't touch. And then finally he made a Chitaswara for that, and people, actually a lot of artists are singing it. So this is the level of creativity. Can artificial intelligence ever reach this level? So impossible. I think music is one field that will challenge artificial intelligence for time immemorial, and if at all we want to prove that human intelligence is much, much, much evolved and bigger than the artificial intelligence, I am sure music will be one very stunning example there. This background, of course, we have to start looking at in great detail. India, Bharat, we'll call henceforth, let us forget the word India, let us call it Bharat. I think that's a better way by which every Bharatian should call our country. Bharat, the knowledge system here, which Ganti Garu is really spending all his lifetime now almost. He's known as IKS man so Bharatiya knowledge system, BKS man now. Today as a system, we are the only musical tradition where both South Indian and North Indian music, we had certain proof of certain change in the natural environment. For example, the Amritavarshini Raga brought rain. There is no such documentation anywhere in the world about any other music, to the best of my knowledge. I may stand corrected. So there is something which is very closely associated between our music pattern and what we see, what we conceive as science. And some of the better music has come out when the AI field aspired to start looking at the Indian form of music. I think the quantum computing is now giving more promise to get music that is closer to us. But will it substitute our manodharma is a very, very long way to go. Today we are also involved in the brain research, where we are the first in the world to actually take a human brain and dissect it as 50 microns, which is 50 into 10 power minus 6 meters. And we are basically studying the interconnection between different parts of the brain. Ultimately, music gives consolation, music changes your mood. So there is a lot of brain-related connection between what you hear and what you experience. I think we will have enough fundamental frameworks where we can start analyzing music and their effect on human. So this is another big step that we are taking. And we also are doing a sort of, first in at least the education institutions in South India, where we are making a complete bamboo-based auditorium, which doesn't require all these mic and electronics. And you sit and sing, everybody can hear. You whisper, you can hear. So this type of auditorium we are building. It's yet to get completed, but if you have time, Deepak, you can just take them to the center and just show people who are interested. So we are now committed, IIT Madras is committed to bringing science and music together. We strongly believe that is the most important aspect of trying to encourage the Bharatiya knowledge system. And thank you, Ramnathan, for selecting IIT Madras and hosting it here. We are very thankful to you. And for all, I hope Jiva will bring, more kids will come in the afternoon, after their exams or quiz get over. So we will continue. This is just a small bit as we just started. We'll continue, more and more things will happen. And wishing you all a very happy one day stay at IIT Madras. And looking forward to many, many more events like this. And just to, Sumitra said that we forgot Dikshidhar to a large level, but IIT Madras, last 12 years, we have been conducting the Dikshidhar and Shama Shastri Day. And we are slowly encouraging the kids not to sing what they sang in the previous year. So every year we at least get 40, 50 new Kirtanas come. And another example is Kanix, of course. Kanix is the person who actually brought in the notes for us in a very big way, and he also got a lot of kids to sing choir along with him. So kids love Kanix here. So in that way, our alumnus being closely associated with Dikshidhar, we're also very grateful to you, Kanix. Wishing you all the best, and this function marks a very good beginning in some research that we will start doing together in the field of science and music. Thank you very much.